For the first time under head coach Joey McGuire, it won't be Zach Kittley calling the offense. Kittley was hired by Florida Atlantic for his first head coaching opportunity. That brought in Mac Leftwich, who joins Texas Tech's coaching staff after spending the last 2 seasons at Texas State under G.J. Kinney. Leftwich followed Kinney from Incarnate Word, where he worked up to the OC job there, taking over the offense in 2022. Leftwich is a Texan through and through. He was born in Denton, played at UTEP, and has had every coaching stop in his young career in the Lone Star State. His offenses are already known for putting up big numbers. In 2022, his Incarnate Word offense scored 51.5 points per game with an offense that gained 8,137 total yards. Up a level at Texas State, his 2 seasons calling the offense were eye-popping. 12,161 total yards, 115 touchdowns, an offense that last season scored 36.5 points per game. He helped set school records for the Bobcats, ramping up the numbers and results since jumping to the FBS level back in 2012. Leftwich has also had sparkling results working with quarterbacks. Taking out the COVID-shortened season, quarterbacks he's worked with have averaged 4,089 total yards and 42 total touchdowns per season. He was also a key piece developing this year's #1 overall draft pick Cam Ward, working with him for 2 seasons as his quarterback coach. His room this year features starter Baron Morton, redshirt freshman Will Hammond, Wake Forest transfer Mitch Griffiths, plus freshman Lloyd Jones III and local product Holden Phillips. He'll also take over an offense that led the Big 12 last season in both points and yards per game. Texas Tech is entering back-to-back seasons knowing exactly who their field general will be. That name is Baron Morton. Morton started all 12 regular season games last year for the Red Raiders, a feat that had been barren since Patrick Mahomes. The first full season of the Bear Raid offense was quite effective, leading the Big 12 in points per game and yards per game. For opposing secondaries, it was also unbearable. Morton threw for 3,335 yards, which was the 4th best mark in the conference. The Red Baron was also extremely efficient, completing 63.3% of his passes. He finished the year with 27 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. He was a top 5 Big 12 quarterback in every major stat. He did have to forbear playing in the bowl game and spring ball after having shoulder surgery. However, the coaching staff is barely worried. He's expected to be better than ever after working with one of the top surgeons in all of sports. He isn't alone in the quarterback room. He's joined by redshirt freshman Will Hammond. He got to bear it all twice last season, including the second half against TCU and the entirety of the Liberty Bowl. The Red Raiders also added experienced Wake Forest transfer Mitch Griffiths, who has 1,957 career passing yards. Freshman Lloyd Jones III and Holden Phillips round out the quarterback room. 2025 comes with major expectations. Will they come to fruition or be dead and buried? Last season, the Red Raiders finally had a receiver break the 1,000-yard barrier. Antoine Wesley did it back in 2018. Since then, it's been a dry spell. That is until Josh Kelly transferred in from Washington State. In his lone season, he led the group, finishing with 1,023 yards on 89 catches. That also was a team-high mark. But with Kelly now aiming to play on Sundays, who can pick up where he left off? Caleb Douglas and Coy Aiken return as key targets for Baron Morton. Douglas was second in receptions with 60, finishing the season with 877 yards and 6 touchdowns. He also boasted a 14.6 yard per catch average. Coy Aiken also had a solid season with 652 yards while also catching a team-leading 7 touchdowns. The offense also added Miami of Ohio wideout Reggie Virgil to the mix. He'll come to Tech with 1 season of eligibility, finishing last season with just over 800 yards for the Redhawks. Between the receivers and tight ends, the Red Raiders also said goodbye to dynamic targets like Jalen Conyers, Mason Tharp, and Micah Hudson, while bringing in equally exciting targets like Roy Alexander, Terrence Carter Jr., and Micah Hudson. Carter was the lone tight end from the transfer portal. He's been a Louisiana Ragin' Cajun the past 3 years, coming to Tech as a redshirt junior. The All-Sun Belt first-teamer was the highest-rated tight end in the portal and the 5th highest-rated tight end overall last year. In total, there are 10 new faces in the receiver and tight end rooms, 4 from the transfer portal and 6 from the freshman class. That list includes intriguing local products Leighton Stone and Michael Deaver. There are also other returning pieces like John Carlos Miller II and Kelby Valson, who are all looking to make a bigger impact this fall. The running back room said goodbye to an all-timer in Taj Brooks. Not only did he break the career rushing record, he also logged back-to-back 1,500 rushing yard seasons for the first time in school history. All of that production was capped off with a 6th-round selection by Cincinnati. So who will pick up the slack this fall? Well, Brooks could be handing off the keys to a trio of running backs. The 2 returners are sophomores Jacoby Williams and Cam Dickey. As true freshmen, they had almost identical numbers. Both players had 41 carries, over 200 yards, a rushing and receiving touchdown, and had over a 5-yard per carry average. They also both shined in the Liberty Bowl. The first real look at life without Taj Brooks came in a loss to Arkansas. The result, however, didn't dampen what Dickey and Williams showed on the field. The pair combined for 238 yards of total offense, with Williams earning Visiting Offensive Player of the Game. They're not the only Texas natives looking to take off running in 2025, as the impressive transfer portal class brought in a highly sought-after running back as well. The new addition is redshirt sophomore Quentin Joyner. He returned to the Lone Star State after 2 seasons at USC. As a Trojan, he played in 17 games, including all 12 regular season matchups last year. He was the second highest rusher for Lincoln Riley last season and has racked up 699 total yards and 5 career touchdowns. The Red Raider rushing attack has eclipsed the 2,000-yard mark 5 seasons in a row and 2,100 yards the last 3. It just might be a 3-headed monster that keeps those numbers going this fall. Leviathans. Big Nasties. Hog Mollies. Beef. The offensive line is similar to almost every position group for Texas Tech football. The big boys will have a mix of familiar faces and impact transfers as they aim to protect Baron Morton and open holes for the running back room. 2 key returners are Sheridan Wilson at center and Davian Carter at guard. Wilson won the center job coming out of preseason camp last year and held it down starting all 13 games. A big headline in the offseason was the blanket waiver of eligibility given to players who spent time at the JUCO level. That gave Carter an extra year, which he chose to use. Last season was Carter's first as a Red Raider, starting 12 games at right guard. New faces out of the transfer portal include Howard Sampson from North Carolina, Hunter Zambrano from Illinois State, Will Jados from Miami of Ohio, and Cash Cleveland from Colorado. Sampson was the second-ranked tackle in the transfer portal and is expected to start at left tackle. Zambrano was the first commitment in the impressive transfer portal class, a 6-year player competing for the right tackle spot. Jados is a 5th-year senior who started in 39 games for the Red Hawks. He'll look to win the left guard position. Cleveland was the late May addition. Last season with the Buffaloes, he was a freshman All-American at center. He'll back up Sheridan Wilson. Vinny Scurry, Jacob Ponton, and Daniel Sill are 3 more names that are either competing for a starting spot or will see the field as key reserves. Scurry was a highly touted transfer from last year's class, but after being injured in the second game of the season, he was forced to redshirt. Cash Cleveland and Jacob Ponton are the youngest of the group. Ponton is a redshirt freshman who got his first start in the Liberty Bowl, but also appeared in Tex matchups with North Texas, Colorado, and West Virginia. Sill is a redshirt sophomore who's a versatile backup with high upside. Last season, he was originally a backup at right guard, but moved to right tackle later in the season. In total, that's 2,770 pounds of mass looking to make a big impact in 2025.